Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Ishan Sharma and you are listening to Bitscast. On this episode, I wanted to talk to you guys about something important. You must have been listening to my previous episodes about career and software engineering and, learning how to earn money and learning about what people are doing in their own personal, journeys and what you all can learn from it. But I think there's something greater than that we should also be aware about, and that is what's happening in the society, right? The society, the community, what's happening in the world. I think that's really important to understand. And so I just wanted to share with you guys something really really depressing that you all must have seen, which is about George Floyd's death. It is the news headlines like these that really force you to think about how this world that we live in is just not made for providing equal opportunities to everyone, and it is still not at a point where people look at everyone with the same perspective. People have different opinions about people with different skin, thinking that they are superior or inferior, and this is really sad to see. 2 to 3 days ago I was listening about what happened to George Floyd and all, and I was depressed about it, but I didn't really give much heed to it until yesterday when I really watched the video, and that was really depressing to me because the way he was the way he was asking, the way he was requesting to get off of his neck, and it was all captured live in video, and that just literally made me cry. I was like, last night I was watching this all happen on video on YouTube, and after that, I could not sleep pretty much for like 2 hours. I was thinking about what is happening, why is this happening, just trying to consume it all and think about how can we eradicate this. And just when I was thinking about this, dots connect and all, what Steve Jobs talks about in his own Stanford commencement speech. Like 1 year ago, I was listening to this book called as Hello World by Hannah Fry, who is a mathematician. And the book is really good. I mean, you should definitely give it a read. It's about the applications of artificial intelligence. And I was reading through the book, and it talked about applications of artificial intelligence into policing and applications of artificial intelligence into justice. And in that itself, it was talking about how the artificial intelligence is rigged, okay? It is biased. And the example it was giving is that whenever there is a bailout, okay, let's just say that one criminal applies for bailout, how does the judge decide that that person deserves the bail and that person will not commit crime, right? That judge in US uses a software that relies heavily on an artificial intelligence model, right? Now, most people won't understand it properly, but I do, because I and you probably even have learned about these skills. And when we hear about machine learning models, and so we pretty much understand that these are models that are biased, and as a result of that, there are a particular hyperparameter tuning that is required to be done. And when it is not done, then we see these biasing happening, because basically what happens in these, when a judge wants to decide what is the likelihood that this person will not commit a crime again, he looks at what the software is telling, right? Because we live in a world where we have decided that somehow these machines that we're surrounded with knows better than what we do, right? And that might be true in many of the cases, but obviously there is one differentiating point after which it's all about what you think is true. And there is this sort of human machine relationship that is important to be established, rather than just thinking about what the machine is saying and just implementing that whatever the machine is giving as an output. And so what the judge does, the judge just asks the machine, what is the likelihood of this person having doing a crime after being bailed, and that machine pretty much just looks at the previous recordings, at the previous percentages of people that did that particular crime. And so what we see is that previously, this is the data that is collected of criminal record from the past 100 200 years, right? And so in that era there were more black people, and there were more male population that was continuously stealing and robbing and doing criminal activities. And so the result of that, the machine learning model doesn't know much about real world circumstances and how things change. And so what it does is that it literally just says that, okay, fine, so basically in the past 100 years, if you are a man and if you are a black man, then you are more likely to do another crime. And so it just gives a higher percentage, right? Or if you are a female and if you are white, you are way less likely to commit a crime. And again, these are just based on previous examples and have got nothing to do with what the person is, what the person has done. And I was listening about this, and then Hannah Fry talks about the multiple examples that she has witnessed in which, when artificial intelligence models are not biased properly, people lose lives. We have started to trust on these models too much, to a point where we don't consider ourselves and what we think is true or what we think might be the right option to do. And that is just something that connected to me when I was watching George Floyd. Now, again, there was another incident that happened with Amy Cooper, in which she threatened a person based on his appearance. Okay, she was like, stay away from me or I'll call 911 and I will tell the police that there is an African American man in front of me who is threatening me for my life. And again, there were consequences of that. She lost her job, she lost the dog that she had. And yeah, this was just a big news. Now, again, I was watching Trevor Noah talk about this whole situation and what racism looks like in US and basically in the whole world itself. And he was talking about how this became a big issue, and I completely agree with that. This became a huge issue. George Floyd's death became a big issue because, first of all, he died, okay? And second of all, his death was documented, right? But there are also so many other people that don't die, but they are, depressed by this discrimination that people do against them. But, and again, they are not getting documented. And this is something that is good about, technology that we are getting surrounded ourselves with, is that we have phones and we have cameras at every single place, right? And so as a result of that, everything is getting documented. That could be your camera, that could be your phone. Everything is getting documented, and that is so good that it is. That means people who do such crimes can get picked up so that we can understand exactly what is happening in this world, because we think that this world is some la la land and we are, every place is pretty good and we are just living in a great place, until we see things like these happen to people, and only then we realize that, oh my God, we are living in a very bad place right now as a society in general. And you have to understand that this isn't something that is just like a bad apple case. Like you can't just say that, that police officer was just a bad apple. No, like this is a situation, this is a condition that is happening in so many places, but it is just not as extreme as it was right now. And most things are not getting documented, right? Now, you might ask me, so like, what is the antidote? What is the way to reduce this? How can we, as the citizens of our society, actually think about this and try to eradicate this from our system? Because this is a big issue, right? This is really, really sad that this is happening, but it is. Now, how can we eradicate this? We have to eradicate this by deploying love. We have to deploy love at every single stage. That could be a stranger, that could be like whoever that person is in front of you, you have to deploy love and empathy. Gary Vee says it so well. Like, it's enough. Like, you have to understand what that person is and understand that this isn't that everything is getting documented. And if you say things like that, like, words are really powerful. Words are powerful, and especially when it is getting documented. So I just wanted to share this with you all. Please think about this for a second and do something about it. Right? Like, if you are a person that has a blog or has a public Instagram account or can anyway impact this, you must. Okay, you must spread awareness. You must tell every single person out there that it is enough. You have to stop this. This needs to change. You have to do something about it. We have to heal the world. I love what Michael Jackson says in his song, "Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race." We have to, deploy awareness among people. We have to talk to people who are younger, right? The Gen Z, like including me and people that are younger than me. We have to instill this feeling of unity among them, because only then can the future become better, right? It might be too late to change the minds of people that are in their 40s or 50s or 60s. But one thing that we can do for sure is to talk to our younger generation and show them what's happening and tell them what's the right way to do, and to tell them to not be afraid, and to tell them to make friends irrespective of their caste or their race or whatever, and stop discriminating. That will lead us to a wrong place as a society and as a community in general. At the end, I would just like to leave you with this. There was a speech that Barack Obama was giving during his elections, and he was talking to a huge crowd, and this is what he was saying: there is no Black America, there is no white America, there is no Latino America, there is the United States of America, right? And that was really powerful. And every single person that was listening to this through the TV, through the place that he was giving the speech on, literally just cheered and started shouting. And that is the power of unity. Like, if we can come together, like, imagine this. Imagine what if US and China and India and Russia and the other multiple hundreds of countries stop fighting against each other and come together. What if the race to space is unified? Think about that for a minute. What if all of us on this earth unify and ask ourselves, what can we do as a community to take humanity to the next level? That could be in terms of education. That could be in terms of harmony. That could be in terms of, eradicating discrimination. That could be in terms of, getting to Mars or getting to Moon, whatever that is. Like, I can tell you, we can be 10 times as better as what we are right now if we just stay together, right? There's this meme that people always refer to. It's like when aliens would be looking at us from above, and they will look at us fighting, right? It would be almost synonymous to how Britishers used to look at us, Hindu and Muslim fighting. And again, this is just us fighting over our petty things and not looking at the big picture. The big picture is we are Homo sapiens, and we must contribute to this global community that we have, and we must stay together, right? These are times of great depression, and so it's really important for all of us to stay together. US is fighting over China not telling us in advance about COVID-19 so that we could be prepared, and China on the other hand is blaming US and saying that US is where COVID-19 started and not Wuhan. And then there is Sonam Wangchuk telling Indians to stop using Chinese-made products. And again, I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just stating the facts. I'm just stating what is happening in the world right now. And so this is like just imagine if all of us can come together at one point. If all of us can come together at one decision, think about the progress we can make. You see? Think about, instead of, fighting against each other to become the best nation out there, to become the best military power out there, what if we stop thinking about one country and think about one globe, right? There is this instance in the movie Pa that I really highly encourage you all to watch, inside of which Pa literally just goes and in the project that he has to make, he literally just takes a globe and he wipes out the continents, and there is just one white globe remaining. And that is his project. And everyone is working hard on building some sort of, structures and, building intricate things. And he just has this one globe. And at the end, he wins, because that is a big message. A white globe. That signifies unity. And if we can be unified, we win. So that's just something I want to discuss with you all. Again, this isn't something that only one person will do and it will change. This is something that we will have to do at every single, household level. And only then can we progress as Homo sapiens, right? Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode. If you resonated with this point, or even if you did not, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at ishansharma7390, or simply just search Ishan Sharma or Bitscast on YouTube and you will find my channel. And let me know, what do you think about this? I think it is high time we start understanding this and act upon this, right? Because this isn't like the first time it has happened. There were previous other times that things like this have happened. And we have to start deploying awareness and love and empathy about this, right? Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, stay strong and stay safe. Love you.